Good morning, still morning for me, and welcome to Brewing Happiness. I'm on at I'll say new time, but different time. I've been playing with the times this week, right? But here we are. It's time for, I'm going to call it your coffee break, or if you're like me and you started drinking coffee at 6:30 this morning, maybe you're done and you're on to your water for the day. Well, so I brewed myself a beautiful glass of water. That's right, with my Aqua Fresh water purifier. They should pay me as a commercial, right? Anyway, today I just wanted to talk about happiness. Happiness, schmappiness. Why does she talk about happiness all the time? And it was prompted by a video I watched by somebody saying, we're not really designed to be happy all the time. And it just makes you unhappy to pursue and behave as if that is the ultimate goal, for to be happy all the time. And I thought a lot about that. I thought, well, that is a great topic, isn't it? Why do I talk about happiness so much? And where does it really fall on the importance, your happiness? Where does your happiness fall on the importance, the important to your life scale? And of course, as the Queen of Happiness, I'm going to contend it is my belief and mission and goal and excitement in life to believe that your own happiness is everything. That pursuing happiness, the pursuit of happiness, designing a life of happiness is the goal, is what we're sent on earth to do, right? Is why we incarnate as from ether into physical beings to conquer the self messages of the ego and lean into the love, kindness, forgiveness of the soul, and learn to be happy in the midst of the insanity and negativity and unhappiness that floats all around us. Well, again, I can't be happy every minute, you say, because the truth is, stuff happens, right? Stuff happens to us every day that's annoying, disappointing, maybe even to the point of anger creating, right? Infuriating, that's the word I'm looking for. Okay, those things happen to us all the time. And so the question is, when we experience momentary frustration, anger, resentment, unhappiness, we know the gamut of those negative emotions. As we experience those, are we no longer happy? This is my question to you. Can I be happy and yet have a momentary situational relationship driven unhappiness moment and still say, yes, of course I am happy in this moment? And I think this is an awesome question, because do I just want to go say, yeah, happiness probably falls somewhere in the middle on your priority list, and if you get around to it, yay? Or is that the answer? No, you can't have happiness in every moment. So just get over yourself and have a goal to be happy. Like, at what percentage point are you happy? Is it over 50% of your life? Yay, you're winning, right? Or are you allowed to have a target of 100? Well, let's be real. I'm a statistician. Nobody gets 100. Let's say, are you allowed to shoot for 98%? Right. That's the question we're asking today. So, a couple of thoughts on that. And one is, does the universe care? Does the world care? Is it selfish to pursue your own happiness? Am I being a selfish citizen to go, hey, what the heck with you guys? I'm just doing what makes me feel good, right? No, of course not. What I'm saying is, but happiness also, in studies done over and over and over again, is linked to the quality of our relationships with those around me, our level of service to those around us, to the world at large, our level of gratitude for the gifts that we are given in our life, and the gratefulness for what we have, as opposed to the unhappiness for what we don't have. that taking care of yourself in mind, body, and spirit is what's necessary to fuel you to be able to take care of those around you. And I go back to my long time analogy, right? Put the oxygen mask on first. They don't say that because, oh, well, whatever about the kid. No, they say it because you can't save the kid if you are keeled over, right? And that applies all over to life. I like to think of it this way. Our cup runneth over, right? I want my cup to runneth over with happiness so that I spread it around me. I know that happiness is exponentially, uh, 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 what's the word I'm looking for? Having a little senior moment. Contagious, right? I know that people are like a positive charge in a negative world, right? Like a tiny bit of light in the darkness. People are drawn to a happy person. They are drawn to someone who is calm, peaceful, and happy with their place in life, happy with their moment in life, happy with whatever situation happy in whatever situation they find themselves in. Those people are like magnets, and we all gravitate to them. We want some of that. We want some of that peace, that calmness, that assurance, that confidence in the future that allows me to be happy in the midst of whatever happiness is going on in the moment, right? We all want that. We're all drawn to it. I call it, I love a couple of little cliches that I made up because I love my own words, right? But I do. Okay. The microphone and the broadcast. Oh my goodness, I can't know what. This is frustrating because I keep forgetting to put the microphone up to my mouth. So, have you heard anything I said at the beginning of this broadcast? And well, here's what we do. We have no viewers, so I'm going to edit out the quiet time, and I'm going to hopefully be as brilliant as I was the first time I went through this. Anyway, our question today is, does happiness matter? Is happiness important? Where did it fall on the priority list? And is it fair to want to be happy all the time? Is it unrealistic and just a pipe dream to think I can be happy all the time in the midst of all the crap that's going on in the world and in my life? And some folks, that is one of the schools of thought, is that it's unhealthy to pursue happiness all the time, and that you're setting yourself up for disappointment, because you know what? Sometimes life sucks. Because sometimes people disappoint us and it doesn't go our way, or somebody cuts us off, or we don't get the promotion, or whatever that is. Sometimes those things happen and we are not happy. So this is the fight, right? Or this is the question. The question is it fair for me to say I want to be happy in every moment? I can learn to be happy in every moment in spite of all those things, right? In spite of whatever's going on in my life, I can be happy, and that's what I'm going to strive for. Or is that unrealistic and I'm setting myself up for failure by striving for something that some say is unattainable? So that's my question for today: is where does happiness fall in our importance factor? Where does happiness live in your life, and is it selfish to put it at the top of the list? And again, I say this, in my belief system, you all believe what you want, but here's my belief system: is that we chose to incarnate, right? We chose as we chose to come from the ether, with a little. We, we were gifted. I don't want to say it as if it was all us, because it was hardly us at all. Other than we were gifted by whomever, the Creator, God, a tiny spark of life. And we came down with this thing called the soul versus the ego, right? And isn't that kind of what we are here to do, is overcome the ego's me, and lean into the soul's we are one. We are here to take care of one another collective. Well, I said this so beautifully the first time. I don't know if you heard it. I have no way of testing it right now. Or if I do, I don't know. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. Happiness, where does it fall? Well, are you allowed to feel happy, and are you able? Hello, Joanne. Are you able to be happy in the midst of those moments when you don't get the promotion, someone cut you off, uh, someone is behaving unpleasantly about you? This is the real goal: is do you go into there's the two schools of thought. One is that says, oh well, I shouldn't expect to be happy anyway, or the school of thought that says happiness is can be attained even in the moments we don't love, even in the moments or the situations that are not going the way we want. And if you're going to choose a school of thought, I guess that's the school of thought I choose on, or I side with. And this is I firmly believe this is our purpose here on life, is to find the passion, that the joy of life that makes us so happy that we're able to literally forgive every indiscretion of our own and everyone around us, that we are able to live without needing to control or have expectations of anyone else's behavior, and that we are accepting and tolerant. And I love it. Keep going back to my friend Dr. Hawkins, compassion, that we live with that one word in front of us at all times, compassion, because we are all connected, right? And that's I guess where I hope to be, and collect around me other souls, other folk, others of us who want the same things, who want to be so filled with a passion for life, a joy, a knowing, a confidence that you don't sweat the small stuff, right? That everything is small stuff, and that you have the heart to um, see past the ego, and see past the ego's momentary needs or momentary me behavior, or whatever is going on that's making your situation at that moment unpleasant. And so a couple of thoughts on this. Again, life is for fun. Joanne, 100%. Life is for fun and the pursuit of happiness, right? I always said before that the studies are conclusive. Happiness has been studied. There are now positive psychology. Those are degrees you can get. Happiness is now a business, because everyone wants to be happy. And the studies show the data, the collective data, which I'm a statistician. I'm a believer in just the facts, ma'am. I'm from Missouri. You got to show me, but the facts are there. They clearly show that a gratitude for your daily life, a connection with a source bigger than you are, uh, uh, an obligation or an understanding that things are expected of you, that you are here for service to the world and others, and understanding that we're all here to take care of the least among us, and that within those there's a few more pillars. Good health, right? Taking care of yourself. We're back to, you got to care for yourself as a part of happiness, because put the oxygen mask on first. You got to have the energy. You got to have the ability, the wherewithal to, if you're going to bring this happiness to others, you got to have it to bring, right? You got to fuel the engine. You got to take care of the machine that's fueling the happiness ambassadors. And like I said, I'm looking for people. I want to bond with people. I want, as they say, we are financially, positive thinking wise, in all different ways, health wise, we emulate, we become just like the 5 people that we spend the most time with, right? And these are facts too. So I'm looking to create a bond with people who have this same want and need and desire to achieve that state, right? To be able to tolerate whatever situational unhappiness is going on in your life, and still at your core be grateful, be content, be immersed in the perfection of the moment and the collection of souls that are all around you, loving you and cheering you on to have a happy life. So I really like something I read from my friend Eckhart Tolle. Me and Eckhart like this, right? It was in a book called, I believe, A New Beginning. I don't think it was the Earth book. I think it was A New Beginning, but I could be wrong because I've read several. But in it, two things he describes that I have referred to before, but I'm going to talk about them again because in my book, these are the tools I use to live in that compassion, right? To see the best self of everyone and offer forgiveness for everything and no expectations. And that, by the way, is my formula for happiness, right? Is no expectations of anyone, forgive everyone, everything. And that if you can do those two things, meh, right? Life is good. So the things Eckhart Tolle said, one was he gave a visual of seeing people. I just saw a meme like this on Facebook. It said, just see the good in people, just see their soul no matter how they're behaving, or something like that. That was very bad summarization, but it kind of aligned with what Eckhart said, which was a visualization of a shining white light silhouette of the person that whoever it is that you're talking about, right? And seeing them with the soul, with the white light connected from their head to God as part of the collective universe, and the purity of a child of God here, trying, as everyone is, to find that center, to find that happiness, to connect with your gift, and to service the world through the gift of your passion. He says, so you're seeing the person, and in front of them, you might see the shadow of the ego, right? And the ego is maybe angry or blaming or recriminating or upset or disappointed or despaired or angry or whatever, human emotion is being exhibited, is whatever behavior is happening right then. And that's the shadow of the ego, right? We are the soul versus the ego. And just see the light. Ignore the smoke. Ignore the shadow or the behavior and just see the light and love that person. Oh, it's so freeing. It's such a freeing and happy way to approach almost every situation, is to love the child of God, forgive the whatever games their ego is engaging in at the moment, and let that doesn't, now let's be fair, you don't have to accept abuse. You get to have boundaries. You get to state the nature of your relationship. You get to decide who you want to spend that time with, right? You get to say, this is not working for me and I don't want to hang anymore. That's totally fair. But even those people we love the most and cherish in our lives and can't live without and always want to count in those 5 people we spend the most time with, even in that category, there are moments of human behavior that we may not like. That's just the nature of the beast, right? And so that's one way that helps me separate and focus on the good and let go of the rest. Other things I do, here's a couple of tricks I do. I remember when I was not very pleasant. If I can remember a time when someone forgave me and gave me the grace of allowing me to be unpleasant and still loved me and still, didn't hold that grudge against me, then that makes it so much easier to offer that, right? To offer that up and say, this is the circle of life, is to forgive and be forgiven. So that's one little trick that I use, is to, like I said, remember when I was on the other side of the coin. We're all one. We're all collective. We're all connected. So that's one little trick. The other thing I learned from Eckhart Tolle, I believe in the same book, but I wouldn't swear to it, was that happiness can come in levels, right? That every moment, that every moment is not ecstasy. That we strive for ecstasy. We want ecstasy. Yay, yay, ecstasy. And I'm not talking about drugs, right? I'm talking about the ecstasy of connection with source, connection with the loved one. Um, these are the moments when you're standing at the top of the mountain and God is speaking to you as you're looking out over the vast expanse of Purple Mountain's majesty, right? These are moments of orgasm. These are moments of just looking around at your happy, healthy, laughing family and being so overwhelmed with gratitude for these gifts in your life. Right. Okay. Again, off on a tangent. Anyway, he says, okay, so this is ecstasy, right? These are these moments when we're so communioned. Maybe when you meditate or exercise to the point where the endorphins are flying and you're on that high. Ecstasy is the point when you're in the zone. Sometimes when I'm writing poetry or painting rocks or gluing little things together, which is one of my favorite art forms. I just zone into what I'm doing and it just becomes the whole world is this little creativity world. And you look up and it feels, you think you've been doing it for 10 or 15 minutes and 2 hours have gone by and you're like, huh? What? I've been sitting here with nothing, no TV, no radio, no music, no people to talk to. And yet for 2 hours anyway, that's ecstasy, right? We long for that, but it's okay. Doesn't happen every minute. And then there's enjoyment, like sitting and enjoying a conversation with your friend like we're doing right now, right? Hope you're having enjoyment in the flow. That's right. Ecstasy. Exactly. Joanne, right? But then the second level would be, like I said, is enjoyment. It's just a happy moment. It's just, I hopefully the majority of the moments, I mean, obviously we want the most to be in ecstasy, but it's kind of a pyramid. So enjoyment, the next level down, is where we long to live, right? Loving life, loving the moment, happy right now, happy in what I'm doing, happy to see the sun shining, get the chance to take a walk. I'm going to do a task I've been looking forward to. I'm so happy to have completed it. Anyway, you get the moment. You get it. This, like I said, this is enjoyment. Enjoyment is, not really stressing, not really thinking about fun things, participating in fun activities. Maybe not in the flow 100%, but still a smile on my face, right? So enjoyment. Whoa. But then there's the third level of happiness, and that's acceptance. And these are the moments where we see, I call it situational unhappiness, right? Where maybe someone has disappointed us. Maybe someone has been cruel or unkind to us. Maybe we've had a very long and hard day, and so small things are beginning to annoy us, right? There's no end to the opportunities to be offended if we let ourselves, if we look for that, if we kind of love if we kind of, like I said, count the slights in our life, well, those are easy to, what we look for is what we find. And so it's easy to find those things and be offended, or it's easy to find yourself in a situation where maybe it's not your favorite moment. Maybe you got to have a difficult discussion, right? Maybe someone else in your family is fighting and there's no place you can go to really get away from it. Maybe, like I said, maybe someone cut you off. Maybe someone's being mean to you at work. These are all things that happen to all of us all the time. Not all the time, but sometime in your life, right? And acceptance is an understanding of your overall blessedness, an understanding of your overall life of comfort, life of blessings, gratitude for the things that you have, willingness to work for the things you want, right? Just an acceptance that it's a beautiful life or that it's a happy life, even if this moment is not your favorite. That's the key, right? Is, can you count that as happiness? And I'm going with Mr. Toll. I'm going with Eckhart Tolle, that yes, I think that is happiness, right? Overall satisfaction, overall contentedness, overall gratefulness for your beautiful life means And the more, and we find, again, studies show, didn't come prepared with any studies names, but I could find them if I had to. The more blessings we count, right? The more grateful we are, the more time we spend in that state of blissed. You can't be grateful without being in bliss, right? No way to count your blessings without your happiness level, your vibrational level, all the things we want to talk about, all rising. It's impossible. To be grateful is to love, to have compassion, to have joy, to lean into uh just the beauty of what's going on around you. So anyway, what I started to say was, the more we do that, the more grateful, appreciative we are, the easier it is to accept and let the moments that are not our favorites, as I like to call them, slip by without feeling the need to interject, to react, to let it embroil us or let it raise our own temperature, right? The more you become an observer of life, and the more you are able to stand back and just let what happens, still loving those souls, still loving those pure children of God who are just here trying to figure it all out just like you are, right? The easier it gets. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it for why happiness is important. Because think of it this way. If you're not pursuing happiness, if you're content to, if you're just willing to kind of go through and not find a passion, not live a purpose, right? I forgot what I was going to say. This was going to be deep. It was going to be compelling. I don't think those are the people that are here. I think the people here do appreciate it. But I guess what I wanted to say was that I want you to be in my 5 people. By being in the flow of gratitude and love and compassion and happiness that fills us up and fills up the bank, puts credit in the account, stores in the pantry. Let us live through, like I said, the unhappy moments. They just happen around us. That's just about day-to-day stuff, right? If something's consistently making me happy, I don't, this is the next show, right? I want to imply you're just going to smile your way through and not make changes, because that's not true. Okay, I'm going to end it. I got a couple minutes. I'm going to end it this way. In my former career, it was my former career. I was a process engineer. My job was to write process maps as the project, and I started thinking about applying the project or the problem-solving methodologies and skills that I learned in business and manufacturing, and apply those to my own happiness, because, as they say, the problem doesn't matter. The process is the same, right? And as I started to apply these principles, I wrote process maps, and I wrote some really complicated, convoluted, oh my gosh, I mapped it all out. But, it's easy to make simple things complicated. And the real secret to the sauce is making complicated things simple. So in the end, I distilled it all down to 2 boxes. The happiness process, right? It involves 2 things. We talked about the first one today, everyday happiness. Living in a state of ecstasy, enjoyment, or at least acceptance in every minute by focusing on the beauty of what you have, the connections, strengthening relationships, bringing joy and love wherever you go, so that people are built up and inspired by you does nothing but fill your cup, right? Making you happy. That's number one, everyday happiness. How do I stay happy right now, right here in the midst of whatever I got to deal with, right? Maybe the best I'm going to do today is accept it. I've been there. I've been when the best I could do was not run screaming from the room, right? But I accepted it and moved on. So that's our story for today, everyday happiness. And tomorrow, well, first of all, so tomorrow we'll talk about the second box on the 2-box happiness process. Distilled it down to 2 boxes: everyday happiness and passion and purpose, right? Designing the life that you jump out of bed and can't wait to get to every single day. That's part 2, short term, long term. It all relates to business strategy, but we won't talk about it in that terms. Anyway, I have been flopping around on the map, on the time map this week, trying to figure out what the heck to do with my show, which I think the 7 a.m. hour, while was wonderful for me, not working great for the listeners. And so I've been flopping around this week, trying different times, and I'm still not sure exactly where I'm going to land, but I'm going to flop to 8 a.m. 8 a.m. PST. I think that's 4 p.m. I think it's 4 p.m. for you, Joanne, in the UK. Anyway, going to try the 8 o'clock slot for a while, and I don't know, had some luck with afternoon shows too. So who knows? It's all an experiment at this point. I got nothing, but I could do whatever I want. But I do remain good. I do want to remain faithful to the task, right? I don't want to be shiny object syndrome, say this isn't working because I don't. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Just playing around to see when it's the most convenient for the people. I want it to be a live show. I know everybody says, well, they can watch it on the replay, but the fun is interacting with you and having a conversation. This is supposed to be not me babbling on, but a conversation. And so to come flopping around with times until I get it right, and more interviews. I think I'm much more interesting interviewing interesting people than just listening to me babble. Although I am fascinating. Anyway, that's the end of our show today. It's been great. I'm going to go back and see how the first 10 minutes went without the microphone sitting to the side of my desk and see if you can hear me. I was brilliant. If not, I guess I'll edit that out. Anyway, until tomorrow, make it a happy day. Oh, Joanne, love you. Thank you so much. So happy to have you here. So much fun to make it into a conversation, like I said. Love you. All right. Until tomorrow, make it a happy day. Ooh, mouse trouble. Mouse trouble. I think that's a bit new.